While every other episode is focused on emo creators of the past, okay, some of them are still around, but they were famous largely many years ago, although some of them are still relevant, which is good, and while some of them have of course disappeared. But Jake Weber is one of the faces of the resurgence of emo culture on YouTube. Well, at least that was what I thought. It turns out he hasn't come out of nowhere, and the history of Jake Weber is actually decently long. Jake Weber currently has around 3 million subscribers, starting his YouTube journey all the way back in 2014. Yes, he's had an account for 10 years. Turns out this was because he was somewhat popular on Vine, but as with many Vine people, when it shut down, he turned to YouTube. The first video on his channel that's public isn't quite from 10 years ago, it's from mid to late 2015, called Ghost Pepper Gummy Bear Prank on Sister, and this is where his content started on YouTube. The earliest save of his channel on the Wayback Machine isn't until years later in 2019. From the start, he didn't really do videos alone, he frequently collaborated with Sam and Colby, who were his roommates at the time. Sam and Colby are famous in their own right, currently having over 11 million subscribers at the time of writing. Although they started doing Q&As and challenges, they're most famous these days for exploring abandoned places, which, as you'll see, Jake somewhat did for a period of time also. Although he was gaining an audience from a variety of pranks, reaction videos, skits, and a demon box he got from an estate sale on eBay apparently, the Diebook box videos at the time were getting around 1 million views an episode. This mixed with the reaction videos with his roommates were gaining him a decent sized audience by early 2019, although his most viewed video at the time was a reaction video, gaining in excess of 2 million views. A few months later his content would kind of change, with an upload from April 29th, 2019. The video was entitled Meet My Girlfriend, where Jake and Tara did a Q&A basically about how they met and such.
I didn't even know whose party it was. I probably should have asked. I just got in the car and I'm like, yeah, let's go. Skirt, skirt.
Well, you're a girl, so you could get in anyways.
They gave me a little bit of trouble at the door.
Really?
No.
Wait, which was this my party?
Yes.
Yeah.
There was security.
Oh, true.
And I wasn't on the list.
I would have put you on. You should have told me.
I didn't know you.
Through this video, it's obvious that they had good on-screen chemistry. She also started doing YouTube after this and has since grown quite a big audience herself, having over 1 million subs and 5 million followers on TikTok. Speaking of TikTok, Jake has amassed almost 5 million followers on TikTok himself. Honestly, a lot of their fame to some degree likely comes from TikTok or a flow-on effect from it, but I don't really delve too much into TikTok in these videos because they've had success on YouTube too, and also don't understand too much about TikTok. Anyway, back to Jake and Tara. After this, they'll do a series of videos together, and they're some of Jake's most popular videos, with the Jake and Tara series having almost every video at least 1 million views. Less than a year after the first video with Tara, he would hit 1 million subscribers. In that year, he had been consistent with uploads and did a mix of couples content with variety like challenges, reactions, pranks, and of course vlogs. In 2023, they broke up in the aptly titled Jake and Tara Breakup.
Jake and Tara have broken up. Any word from Tara?
I guess I won't yell at you in this one.
Yeah. To be fair, we usually only yelled at each other on camera. It was a way for us to roast each other. We usually actually don't argue that much.
No.
But fear not, the Jake and Tara videos are still ongoing, but rather than being couples videos like Jake and Tara becoming parents, it's more like Target shopping with my ex. I guess it's called uncoupled videos or something. It's still obvious they have the on-screen chemistry and they're still friends. It adds an interesting dynamic to videos. It's pretty clever actually. In 2020, as a side project of sorts, Sam and Colby and Jake and Corey made a band called Love for Hire. It's important to note that this was a side project of what was known as the Trap House, which was around the same time. In fact, the second most viewed video is from 2019, which was called the Trap House Anthem. But this wasn't his next phase, it's just a piece of information that I felt was important but didn't know where else to put it. The original Trap House also featured Jake's brother, Reggie. Speaking of, Jake's siblings are famous in their own right. Reggie himself has over 150,000 subscribers on YouTube, and their sister Jillian has almost 1 million followers on TikTok. The Trap House was also pretty big on TikTok, boasting nearly 900,000 followers. There hasn't been a post on their Instagram for 4 years. In 2020, according to a video on Sam's channel, they got another house, but it seems like this didn't eventuate to much, and they have both since moved on to other forms of content. We've mentioned Sam and Colby, but let's talk about what Jake did after the Trap House. Also, before we move on, I just want to mention quickly that he also appeared in the first season of The Reality House, which was a show made by Kean Lawley and JC Kalen. He ended up making it to the finals and did pretty well. And a bit of a strange move if you ask me, the next content he really latched onto and found success in was true crime, even at one point visiting the Cecil Hotel. He mixed his content with other less serious videos like eating candy from the 1980s, which was immediately before a video called Face to Face with the Serial Killer. He seemingly left that phase behind him, with the most recent video related to true crime being over a year ago at this point, outside of the videos celebrities that got away with serious crimes. Although the earlier videos in that series were largely successful, the views ended up diminishing quite a lot. Although in saying that, during this period, one of the most important pieces to the story of Jake Webber now was created, and that was Mental Handcuffs, which was, according to Spotify, his debut single. Although he had some less serious songs in the past, like the Trap House anthem, music is where current day Jake and past Jake really come together in this story. Just to clarify, he was still very much doing videos with Tara during his true crime phase, but they would largely do less serious videos. These, along with his videos with Corey, were a break from the full-on nature of true crime. Although I said before that the views weren't there anymore, there's many reasons why he might have stopped true crime videos. You can take a toll on mental health, or sometimes, like I'm finding in this series, you just run out of things to talk about. The next big step in his YouTube career thus far would kick into gear on May 19, 2022. May 19th, 2022 saw the release of a song entitled KMS, featuring the one and the only Johnnie Guilbert. Prior to the release of the song, Johnnie released a vlog entitled Impulsively Getting Tattoos with Jake Webber on the 15th, and well, the rest is history, but we'll go through some of it. KMS was how they met, or at least the reason they first met in person, to record the music video for it, according to a podcast with the Zach Sang Show at least. They actually mentioned towards the start of the podcast about how they met, so here's a clip of that.
Yeah, Jake rated me on Twitch, which is where he like sends viewers, his viewers from his stream to me, and then I, thanked him, and then we just kind of DM'd, and he needed a friend, and I guess I was that friend.
Yeah, I was living alone at the time. I didn't have any roommates, and I was so bored. I was watering plants. I was making bread.
Oh, wow.
I don't do any of those things anymore. Yeah. I was down bad. Yeah. So yeah, he came out to LA, and I don't know, it was like I had like a friend crush on him, it was so fun hanging out,
It's hard not to have on me. I get it.
From what I could find, the majority of the first collaborations on YouTube were Jake featuring in Johnny's videos, until Emo's Try Black Ice Cream, which was uploaded to Jake's second channel. It wouldn't be until March 2023 that Johnny would feature in a main channel vlog in the video Eating Black Food Only for 24 Hours. After that, Johnny was promoted to main channel status, although they would occasionally still do second channel videos. Outside the challenge videos and vlogs, they also dived into some mukbangs. These days it's not too uncommon to see a video featuring the two of them and Tara. Jake also has black hair now, which I would guess is to make the whole emo thing look more legitimate, although that's not overly fair given he has black hair in his older videos. It's kind of gone full circle now. They also live together now, as they have for a year and a half or so, which would help for making videos, I'm sure. Jake and Johnny, from what I've read, really exploded in popularity from people making edits of them on TikTok, and has transferred over to their YouTube channels. In fact, just looking at Social Blade, you can see that this is some of, if not the biggest channel growth Johnnie Guilbert has ever seen. And prior to this, he was getting what I would say are decent numbers. The same has happened to Jake Webber, with both of them experiencing their two most viewed months in years in the past 2 months. Fortunately, Social Blade only goes back 3 years, so I can't say for sure if it's their most ever, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was. Almost every video of theirs has over 1 million views, and it's at the point that it's not taking them long to get to that mark either. They've also seen decent growth in their second channels too, where they post highlights from their streams. They have every platform covered, also doing really well on TikTok. Oddly enough, Jake has never actually posted a short to his main channel on YouTube, despite his success on TikTok, although Johnny has, with multiple shorts over 1 million views. He also at one point had a shorts channel, but it's inactive now. Not only are they really good at cross-promoting each other, which helps the other grow, they've also been doing a lot of different collabs, which also helps. Here's just a little list of the collabs they've done in the past 6 months or so, and no, it's not all of them. Turning FaZe Rug emo, turning Hassan Piker emo, appearing together on the Just Trish podcast, the Dropouts podcast, the Zach Sang show, turning Lorray emo, and more. For example, they both appear separately on the Crew podcast, within an episode of each other. Speaking of turning people emo, that's why I want to make this video. Jake and Johnny are in a way bringing emo back to the forefront of YouTube. In a way it's clever because emo has kind of died down in recent times, and if anyone wants current emo content, they don't really have anywhere else to go. Also, Johnnie Guilbert is a legend of the emo scene here on YouTube. In fact, he is one of the faces of emo on YouTube. So to see him have success again is really nice, honestly. Although they had and continue to experiment with content both with and without each other, they found a winning format on multiple social medias, and it's really nice to see them bring each other up, and Tara and others along with them, of course. They're still doing music too, by the way. They both made songs for Valentine's Day. Of course, this isn't everything, but it's just a brief history of Jake Weber, basically. Do you think this is the second coming of emo on YouTube? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you have any suggestions for people you want me to make a video on, leave them in the comments too. And don't forget to check out the rest of the emo series if you haven't already. It's on screen now.